In this bill, there are distinctions between the criminal prosecution of rape, which is separate and apart outside of this bill, and this bill doesn't address that. What this bill does is address when a woman who is raped or have incest can seek an abortion. Those are two different processes, and they don't cross over. A woman who is raped or incest can obtain an abortion under those circumstances up until 20 weeks.
Members, is there further discussion or debate?
Thank you.
Representative Baker, ladies recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I would just add to that, I think the intent here is to uphold the special and protected relationship of the patient and the physician's judgment, because ultimately throughout this bill, it's incumbent upon reasonable judgment by the physician. And so there's no intent that the medical community is going to not support a statement on behalf of a patient that she has been raped or been the victim of incest.
Representative Clemens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And my questions and then comments are going to go along the same line of questioning. So, also not a lawyer, maybe a staff question, but can you describe if there's a woman who's 14 weeks pregnant because she was raped, what would happen for her to seek medical care?
And members, again, if there are any members of the committee who want to answer the question, the chair is going to look around to see if anyone raises their hand to give the chair. We'll go to staffers and let staff answer that. If any members want to follow up with that, they can. The gentleman will be recognized.
Jason Moran Bates, Legislative Analysis. I apologize. I don't know what the medical process is for seeking abortion. I can just say that the bill, as it is written, does not require reporting or conviction. It just says that if the pregnancy is a result of rape, as defined in the bill, which just lists some criminal statutes, or incest, as defined in the bill, which just lists some criminal statutes, then abortion is permitted through the 20th week of pregnancy.
Follow up.
Ladies recognized.
And so what does the bill say will happen if there is a woman at 14 weeks? I hear what you're saying, that it doesn't have the criminal discussion in this bill. I'm asking, what would the woman go through because it is hard, as has been said when we just got this, to understand each of the sections and what is required for which type of exception. So I'm specifically asking for that exception.
Chair sees Representative Baker's lights on. The ladies recognized to answer that question.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Clemens. So in this bill, there's absolutely no requirement for reporting to law enforcement for a woman to go to a physician and say, I've been raped, and then that physician, within the parameters of this bill, absolutely has the ability to refer for an abortion and support her throughout.
Representative R.
An additional requirement in this bill is that abortion, since it occurs outside the 12-week permitted period, would be performed in the hospital. And the procedures would be going forward between the woman and the doctor. The location must be performed in the hospital.
Representative Clemens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, so thank you. That was a specific difference, that it would have to be in the hospital in that case. What would the informed consent process look like in that case, in this bill?
Again, the chair will go ahead and go to staff, and if members want to address the question, we'll go to them next. Gentleman's recognized.
Jason Moran Bates, Legislative Analysis. If it's at 14 weeks, it would be a surgical abortion. It would be done in a hospital. The informed consent process would be at least 72 hours prior. The woman would have to sign an informed consent form, which includes the name of the physician who will provide the surgical abortion, the risks associated with the procedure, the probable gestational age of the unborn child, risks associated with carrying the child to term, display of a real-time view of the unborn child with heart tone monitoring, statement whether the physician has liability insurance, and the location of a hospital that offers obstetrical or gynecological care within 30 miles where the woman could go if there are any complications. The woman would have to sign all of that. It would also have to be signed by the physician, and there would have to be a acknowledgement of risks that goes along with that, and I can give you those items if you would like them.
Representative Clemens.
Thank you, and thank you to staff who's doing a great job with a hard task today. I'd just like to make a comment at this point, Mr.
Ladies
Chair.
recognized.
Thank you. I've been trying to pull myself together to comment on this bill today because, like many bills, I think about it for all of our state, but I mostly think about it for my own children. And I spend a lot of time with 12-year-old girls because my daughter is one. And I know the statistics that 1 out of 5 of them will be victims of an attempted or completed rape. 1 out of 5 of them. And that only 30% of them will ever report that rape because they're afraid. It might have been someone in their family. They don't know what they did wrong or why they're in this position. And I think about if one of them didn't report that because of a lot of reasons that a 14 or 15 or 17-year-old girl is trying to figure out, and then finds out she's pregnant and sits with that for weeks on her own, scared, not sure what to do, and then came to me for help. And I was in the position of telling her that she would have to go to a hospital to be taken care of, or look at an ultrasound, or if she happened to live beyond the 30-mile radius, that might be a challenge, or that she would have to go and hear all this information as a scared 15-year-old and then sit with it for 72 hours before she could have a change. I cannot support, there are lots of reasons I think this process has been wrong, but I cannot support a bill. Another member of my caucus said, I've never felt so emotional, and that's how I feel today. I cannot support a bill, and I feel at a loss for the girls that I spend my life with. And I know there are moms, good moms, on the other side of this issue. I am just saying where I am. And then I think about, what if my daughter's 25 and she has a very wanted pregnancy, but her blood pressure spikes like mine did, and it became potentially life-threatening, but maybe not quite enough. And instead of her doctor making the medical decision to help her, they're pulling out their law book or calling their attorney instead of giving her the best information. So for all of our daughters, I will be voting no, and I hope other people will consider the impact on the girls that are looking to us.